Howdy folks, I'm Stuart and this is Trotter's Tips. Hey, appreciate you watching and like to say if you would please consider subscribing, click the thumbs up if you enjoy this video, drop a comment down below in a little while and help me grow Trotter's Tips. I'm wanting to turn this into a big thing. I want to get a lot of this information out, and I feel that the way I see things, I often work as a bridge to fill a gap. And a lot of times you have people talking past each other, one person on this side, another on that side, and there's not a meeting of the minds because they're missing information in the middle. And that's what I like to do, is to kind of see that and then come in with that solution. And that's what Trotter's Tips is about. Along with other things, we just talk about whatever we're talking about. Today it's about face masks and filtration. Okay, man, first of all, I never thought I would have this discussion. Okay, this is never in all of my life did I ever conceive that I would have to talk about or make a video about, or for that matter, discuss whether or not masks work. I mean, I've been in the business of carpentry and the trades for a very long time, and we use masks a lot, okay? So considering all of the stuff that's been built up on the outside of my mask and that didn't go into my lungs, I can say that depending on what you're using the mask for, yeah, it most certainly works. It depends on what you're using it for, doesn't it? Now, this big argument came up during COVID-19. People arguing, do face masks, and this is a face mask of a type, it's a 3M. Do face masks work? Oh, and by the way, I'm not sponsored by 3M. I sure wish I was, but 3M, if you want to sponsor me, give me a shout. We'll talk, okay? Here's the thing. What do you mean by do they work? Okay. What does that argument mean? I mean, is the expectation that the mask is to completely stop all transmission? If that's the expectation, then I can see how one might say masks don't work. But I don't think initially, not what the doctors were shooting for, not what the CDC and others were shooting for, I don't think that was the intent. I think the intent was to do what they refer to as mitigating the spread. In other words, reducing how many people would get it just by regular air transmission. Now, before anybody starts typing down below in the comments about how, now Stuart, you need to understand viruses are much smaller than the particles you deal with as a carpenter, that they can slip right through a face mask. Well, now, okay, if it was just a virus floating in air with nothing around it, yeah, you might be right, but the only problem is a virus can't live that way in the air. You see, in order for a virus to stay alive in the air, it has to be inside of something. It needs to be inside of something wet, or it won't live very long. It'll only be alive for a couple of seconds and then it'll be dead. But if it's inside of a droplet of water, the length of time that that virus stays alive is significantly longer. Now I said water, and I might say that more than once in this video. If I say water, I'm referring to what comes out of our lungs, our breath, the moisture in our body, okay? So here's the thing, that virus is floating around inside of those little droplets that come out of us. Now if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the spittle that flies out of my mouth when I'm yelling at the camera. What I'm referring to is the part of your breath that you don't normally see. Now, a lot of people have taken a mirror like this and they breathe on it and it'll fog over the mirror, you know, like that. You see it fogs over that mirror. Ooh, it's starting to go away. Yeah, it's fogging it really good. Okay, if I had COVID-19 in me, I would have covered this glass in COVID-19 because it would have been in my breath. And pardon me, I saw the light just hit the lens. I didn't mean to do that. So if I flashed your monitor. I didn't mean it. It was an accident. It's one of my lights. Anyway, we're talking about reducing how many of those little tiny droplets comes out and projects across the room from you. And then there's also the distance that a person will project their body fluid, the moisture that comes from you. You think about this. If you sneeze, a sneeze goes 18 to 20 feet. Okay, that gets way out there. Coughing and just a hard exhalation of air, that can shoot what's inside of your body easily 12 to 15 feet. All right, so it's very easy for what comes out of you to travel further than you might suspect. And this isn't guesswork, this is actually proven science. They've proven it because they've used high-speed cameras like what I'm using here, that documented how that respiration came out of their body and how far it traveled. Okay, and there's a lot of that kind of video out there. Feel free to look at it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of these masks, and this was I bought a batch of these masks. They were made by 3M, and we used them all through COVID. Fairly comfortable, but it's just a typical little, looks like ripstop nylon on the outside and some sort of maybe a muslin, I guess, fabric on the inside. I don't know. Here we go. So let's try this again, and I apologize for the audio here. I'm going to try to fog this up. Nothing. Virtually nothing on this, okay? And I'm really trying, okay? I'm putting it out as hard as I can. What's happening is this mask, while it wouldn't stop something as small as a virus from going through it, and of course some escapes around the edges, while it won't stop that, it will block a lot of that moisture that comes out of you, and it gets caught on the inside here rather than being projected across a room. So, no, it's not stopping it, but it is reducing it so much that it makes it much safer for people to be in that area around the person wearing it. Good example, if you have a whole bunch of people driving and they aren't driving along with the laws, they're just driving like crazy, then there's a lot of damage that can come from that. But if you have everybody doing what they're supposed to, even though there's a chance that there could be a wreck, there's a lot less chance than if everybody's just going out and driving haphazardly. Okay? So we do things a certain way to help reduce risks. Okay? And that's what's going on here. There's a lot of different kinds of masks, and I wanted to kind of bring it up. Different kinds of masks that can be used for personal protection, and there is a difference between personal protection and protecting others with a mask. All right, so let me pull one of these, or it looks like I got a couple of them here. Try to get just one. Okay, we'll get that. Okay, so what I have here is a good quality. This is a multi-layer mask. This is one of their nice ones. They've got the little flap on the inside that runs over the nose so it doesn't rub and chafe. The metal bar that you press down over the nose. And this kind of mask, and I can put it on, and we'll do the mirror thing with this type of mask also. And I also, just so you'll know, there's a lot of stuff I'm used to wearing to protect myself from whatever could be in the air. This doesn't handle just dust. This handles also vapors and some gases. And then if you want to go that next step, we get into something a little more intense. And then this gets into a lot more gases, and it really depends on the cartridge you put on it. For instance, I can be around radon gas and all kinds of stuff like that, and it filters it. So it's really incredible what some of these will do. However, masks like this aren't protecting other people. They're only protecting the wearer. because a mask like this has a valve that allows free air passage just to come out of it. Now on this one, it directs that air passage down so it wouldn't project it across the room, but it's still coming out without any restriction. So a cartridge type mask isn't really what you're looking for if you're trying to keep others from catching your cold or your flu or whatever else that you got in you that is going to get projected in the small droplets from your breath. All right, so let me try this mask here. And I can also show y'all, if you've never done this, how to do these things. Because oh my God, I've got decades of wearing these. More than a little experience. Here we go. Okay, now a lot of people like to wear that top band over the ear. You can do it however you want. What's important here is that you take this and press it down over the nose so it actually fits the curvature of your nose on your face. Each mask will be different. Now right now, I already feel a better seal and I'm not getting any leaking around the edges the way I did before that was pressed down. So that really, really matters. Now let's get the mirror. There we go. I'm going to try our same little test there. Now look at this. My mirror from this mask, that got a lot on it, didn't it? So I am able to fog the mirror with this mask. And it needs to be said, the mirror is fogging in a broader area. Okay, so it is, while it's fogging it, it's pushing it out more. There we go. So I'm getting that fogging happening. It's spread out more, less centralized, but it is happening. So you can see that just the kind of mask, when it comes to protecting others, would really matter. Now this is the kind of mask that you would wear. Let me get this off. Okay. This white mask is the kind of mask you'd wear for dust, okay, for sanding, for that kind of thing. And it works good for it. All right, those are bigger particles. So we've seen how one that was designed as protective wear for others is much more effective than one that was designed just for dust. It works, but not as well. This is actually more comfortable to wear too. So some of these cloth masks were very, very effective. The 3M mask that I have here and the whole set that they sold like this, these were incredibly effective. In fact, I was most impressed, and I think that mirror test is your real true test. It tells you the truth, and it also proves or disproves, doesn't it? So we can see how the argument is flawed, okay? Do masks work? Masks don't work, people have been saying, and I always say to them, what do you mean by work? I mean, define work. You have to first, if you want to say that masks don't work, you first have to define what working would be. And if your definition is to stop all spread of the disease, then but masks don't work. But nobody ever claimed that originally. Nobody ever said, if you wear a mask, it will stop all spread of this disease. Nobody ever said that. They just said, we want to reduce the spread, so we ask you to wear masks. And so that was that. Anyway, that's what I've got about face masks. I hope you picked up a little something on this one. If you would, type down below in that comments box what you think about it. Tell me everything that you think that I was wrong about. Give me some ideas for some other great topics and subjects that you want me to try to tackle. And I'm looking for subjects where people are talking past each other, where one side is saying this and the other side is saying that, and there isn't a meeting of the minds because there's that little bit of information lacking in the middle. So do me a favor, type something below, subscribe, please share, help me to grow this. I'm looking for a lot of subscribers to get this growing up big, and I appreciate your help. I need your help. So thank you, folks, and you have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.